This looks like a job for Superman.
Hey everybody, Rez the Collector here with another action figure review. Actually, another Bizarro review. This is my second Bizarro review of the day. I just did the Superman from the Superman and Superman Returns line Bizarro. And now we're taking a look at the Alex Ross Bizarro. This is a recent add to my collection. I did purchase him loose, so I don't have a box to show you. I apologize for that. But I've been really wanting this character for a very long time. I do have the Superman from this line, but I still have them in package. I do have quite a few Supermans that use this body style. I've got two loose. I've got they're both from the Through the Ages gift set. Same figure. I got one in the actual gift set, and another one in a lot I got for Christmas last year. But I don't really want to open the actual Superman that goes with this guy because, again, I've got basically all the real differences is head sculpts. But again, I've been looking for this Bizarro for a very long time. Bizarro has always been one of my favorite characters, and I would say probably my favorite Superman villain. And a lot of people, they're like, well, Lex Luthor, Toyman, whatever. Everybody has their own preference for villains. I've always had a soft spot for reverse characters, such as Bizarro or Reverse Flash, Sinestro, and so on. Basically, characters who have the same powers as the hero. And I think that was one of the things that was always a big problem with Superman, and it's still to this day with writing Superman, is making it interesting and giving him something that is challenging because of power levels. Because you can't just throw, a bank robber or like a Captain Cold or a Captain Boomerang at Superman, because he's going to end the fight just within milliseconds. There's no point to something like that. And of course, the stuff like that has been done, but you can't have a long-lasting villain with a character like Superman who's not on his power level. I suppose you can almost throw out Lex Luthor, but he is an intellectual level with Superman instead of, I guess, a physical level. But for physical prowess, basically my favorite villain is Bizarro, because he could go toe-to-toe with the Man of Steel. And I actually have a hard time of thinking of Bizarro as a villain, because I see him, at least in my favorite incarnations of Bizarro, as a sympathetic character. Because he does not understand what he's doing is wrong. Like I said, in the versions of him that I prefer. I like all versions of Bizarro, but the ones I've always had the most kinship with is those that he doesn't understand what he's doing wrong, and he actually thinks he's a hero. He thinks he is Superman in a lot of things. A lot of comics, he thinks he is Superman. He thinks he's being the hero. He thinks he's doing it right, and he doesn't realize that what he's doing is actually harming people. It always reminded me of like a Frankenstein's monster or something along that nature. Someone who has a good soul, I guess if you can say Bizarro has a soul, but or fictional character, I guess any of them have a soul, but thinks they're good, wants to be good, and doesn't realize that he's doing bad. I guess one of the I actually don't have this figure, and I've been looking for it loose for quite a while, but the Red Sun Bizarro. It's been a while since I've read the Red Sun comic. I do have it digitally, but he sacrificed himself to save people, and he was a Bizarro, And Bizarro, like I said, a lot of the ones I prefer Bizarro were like when he had his own planet of the Bizarros, and he got to be the hero. And that was one of the great things. There was a lot of them that Superman and Bizarro would actually team up during this. And this was like, I think, 70s and 80s, when he had the square Bizarro planet, and he wasn't necessarily a villain. He was just misunderstood. But on his own world, he was the hero. And I love stories that took place on Bizarro World. He worked at a newspaper, and man bites dog is the big story. And I always loved that. I really, really did. I realize I keep going on and on about that, but it's a character. Bizarro is a character that's near and dear to my heart because he wants to be Superman. I guess as a kid, I wanted to be Superman. You know, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, this is the Alex Ross version. This, just like the last one I did, the last review, was also sculpted by Tim Bruckner. And it's amazing how one sculptor can take the idea of a character. Of course, it's being based on art, this being the art of Alex Ross, but can take one character and then give it so many different looks. I mean, just to look at them side by side, such different takes on the character. And again, these are based on somebody else's artwork, but Tim is able to bring out such life into the sculpt. It doesn't seem like it's it seems like there's real emotion in there and real feeling in the way that the facial expressions are. So let's take a good look at the sculpt. For starters, when you purchase this figure, you get the figure, and he does come with the standard Alex Ross base. As far as I know, that's the only accessory he comes with. He doesn't come with a Bizarro #1 necklace. So let's take a look at the sculpt. The sculpt on this figure is amazing. Whoops, sorry about that. Take a look at the eyes. And the eyes could say so much to so many different people. To me, he almost looks afraid rather than menacing. And you can take that fear in so many ways, you know, maybe a realization of what he is, that he's actually the monster instead of the hero. I mean, again, this could be an angry face, but you could take so much from it, and any person could take a different thing from it. And again, that's another thing I like so much about Tim Bruckner's artwork or sculpting, and it has a very Frankenstein feel to this figure. The flatter head, just the whole way it's done feels very Frankensteinish to me. And I really, since I got this figure, I've really fallen in love with it. It's been one of my favorite figures since it's been added to my collection. I had been looking for him for quite a long time, but he is a rather expensive figure. You don't come across him, at least I hadn't seen him really loose. Well, I had, I guess, seen him loose, but even loose, he was expensive. People were wanting like $30 for him loose, and then to pay that, you could get him in package for not much more. I finally found a good deal on him loose. If I'd gotten him in package, I probably would have kept him in package along with the Superman. If I got him in package and wanted to open him, I probably would have opened Superman too. So I don't know why me getting him loose is different than me getting him and opening him and then opening Superman, and me getting him loose, I'm keeping Superman in package. I don't know what the difference is, but somehow it makes a difference in my brain. But let's just take a nice 360. I really still need to get one of those rotating display things. But again, that face sculpt is just amazing. I mentioned this in my other Bizarro review, but the marvelous way that Tim Bruckner was able to do like the teeth and give like each tooth its individual look is just awesome. And those eyes, the lines in the forehead. Now, one thing I will say about the sculpt is the contrast between the head and the rest of the body. There's this massive wrinkling in the neck, and you can see it till I've been painting, in the neck and everywhere else on this body, the hands, until we get to the head, and then while that wrinkling is still there to a much lesser degree, you can definitely tell the difference. Because it didn't really just taper off, and if it had it tapered off, it would be a different story, but it just kind of stops. There's the body sculpt, and then there's the head. No, I think one of the reasons for this, I heard this story from another collector, talked about it in a video, I don't remember which video, but the collector was talking about how they had actually got to have a conversation with Tim Bruckner, and he told them that this figure was where DC actually discovered that the company that they had producing the figures were not using the original sculpts. They were actually resculpting the figure. They would receive the master figure, and then they would resculpt the figure, and then use that as a mold, because they somehow thought it was dishonorable or something to use the actual one. So, because when he took the Master to DC and then compared it to one of the figures that was produced, there were differences. So I don't know if that is where the differences lie. And I don't even know if because of that you can actually call this a Bruckner sculpt. It's based on a Bruckner sculpt, I guess. But definitely you can see it the most in that difference between neck and head. Now that doesn't in any way diminish my love for this figure, because it is just an amazing figure. That Alex Ross artwork this is based on is amazing. The body style is just gigantic. He is just a big barrel-chested guy. As you can see, as with like all the Alex Ross Superman styles, the cape, it does not stay tight to the neck. It does have that nice droop in it. It is missing the S in the back, and that is the same for the Superman. The colors on the Bizarro are a little bit more traditionally Superman colors. Instead of a purple, we do have more of the blue standard, and the red and yellow S just reversed. And all the rest of the colors, the reds are very nice and bright, the blue, the yellow. So he is basically a standard Superman suit, just with a reversed S, and then of course the body is Bizarro. Even down to his boots, nice vibrant red colors, same with the cape, nice vibrant red. It is a stiffer rubber cape, but it's not hindering the figure in any way, so that doesn't bother me. It does come straight down really nice. It actually comes down almost to a point, almost like the new 52 capes. So really, like I said, nice cape. Doesn't hinder it in any way, even though it's a stiffer rubber. It's not like the DCUC that's like all stiff rubber and had some weird angle on it, and you couldn't like lean it up against anything or have it close to a wall because it would be all out because of the cape. This one you could have basically leaning, and that cape is straight down and nice for you. Now, like all figures of this size that I seem to own, he does have a weak joint, and actually this is, I think, the only one I have where it's the right leg that's weak. And not only weak, but you can see here where it's kind of wobbly, so I'm not exactly sure if there was ever some damage to this figure. I hope not, but the right leg is just a little wobbly here. His left leg is actually decently tight, but all the other joints on him are tight. Of course, he does not have a ball-jointed head. It is just a left and right, just like all the other Alex Ross figures. It does have a ball-jointed shoulder, but just like the rest of them, it is kind of a limited in what it's going to do. It does not come out too far. There is no bicep rotation on this in any way, shape, or form. He does, however, have elbow and rotation at the wrist. There is absolutely no waist articulation here whatsoever. It does have standard hips that are going to go back pretty much all the way back and then forward, so good hip rotation here. Nice at the knees, and thankfully there is no ankle rockers on this figure to speak of. Overall, I'm very happy with this purchase. I am ecstatic to have this guy in my collection. He was a big hole in my collection. There's some figures that you just have to have as a collector. No matter what hero you collect, there's some figures that are just a must-own. That you're going to find pretty much in anybody's collection, but that's because the figures are just masterpieces in and of themselves. That can be said for Batman figures, Flash figures, whatever. There's that one figure out there that everybody pretty much has to have. It makes that figure rare and expensive, but your collection really just isn't complete without it. And I would say that this Bizarro is one of those figures. I mean, that's for me. Maybe not for you. Maybe you don't like Bizarro. Maybe you're a Superman collector, but you don't like Bizarro. Who knows? But for me, and for a lot of people I know, I would say that this is a must-have in a collection. But that's all I've got for this guy. Be looking for other reviews coming soon. I am going to try and knock one more out today. I do, of course, want to thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. This is Rez the Collector, and you have a very nice day.